Yo, what is going on, everybody? LLC Productions back here with a podcast today after a long hiatus. Although we are here today, I am back once again with the other long lost cousin, Isaiah. Introduce yourself.
How's it going, everybody?
Alright, so it's been, what, 4 months now?
Yeah, it's been a while.
We end that today. So, immediately off the start, trade deadlines happened yesterday for the MLB.
Yep. Oh,
What, in your opinion, was the biggest shock at the deadline?
out of everything, it's got to be the Astros. They right at the end, Greinke was. That was the biggest shock, and now the whole pitching is just. Jesus, that Astros team is still unbelievable.
And yeah, unbelievable. They pick up another pitcher who you already know is just gonna go from mediocre to god tier.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they gotta pick up another pitcher. It's like Jesus, but
Well, that's the one spot they are lacking. Their whole team's stacked
Yeah.
pretty much.
Verlander's.
Garrett Cole, yeah, keep going. You can name them all. But for me, it wasn't a deadline trade. It was actually the night before, with Yasiel Puig getting traded to the Indians in the 9th inning, and then getting into a brawl specifically with Kyle Crick. No, he did not throw any punches from the video that I analyzed, but I know he did almost fight Kyle Crick. Since you're an Indians fan, what is your opinion on that?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. He's a beast, but I mean, it upsets me to a certain extent because I love Trevor Bauer, and there was times where he pissed me off a lot, but he's an all-star pitcher. I mean, it's tough to lose him, and the love he had for Cleveland was really, really deep. And it's gonna be sad. It's sad to see him go, but the hitting just gets better, and I mean that's all I care about. Kluber comes back. You got Shane Bieber. I think with him coming in, I'm telling you, I think this team's got big things going on.
I mean, even with the love, he literally was at the Indians game the other day.
Exactly. I was like, what the hell? He was there. He was there last night. I was like,
last
dude,
night.
That's sad. Sitting in the crowd, I'm like, come on. It made me feel even worse. I was like, dude, I'm glad for the trade, but such an upsetting scene. He looked so upset, and he didn't want to leave. But it hurt. But I'm mixed emotions still.
Sad. As a Pirates fan, watching that game and hearing the live rumors, I was definitely confused as to why Puig was still out there in the 9th inning. It wasn't until the brawl happened and he was injected until he got pulled out of the game. He still played, which actually really did surprise me, and it's sad to see Trevor Bauer go. I mean, one angry ball across center field just got him thrown out. But
we did get Logan Allen too, though, so I'm kind of happy about that.
So I was definitely yesterday sitting on my seats with lots of rumors of Felipe Vasquez getting traded to the Dodgers for their number one prospect. That was definitely nail biting. Obviously didn't go through as we decided to trade Corey Dickerson to the Phillies.
I didn't understand that move.
Only for cash considerations and a player to be named, which doesn't make sense to me, but hopefully something comes out of it. I mean, he was a Gold Glover last season, so that kind of confuses me. But
but I don't know, maybe rebuilding. I couldn't say. It was weird because my friend's a Phillies fan, and he wrote me, and he's like, "You got Corey Dickerson." I was like, "Why? How? What did you give up?" And it's like cash consideration. I was like, what the?
A
I
lot
was
of
like, what the
people,
hell?
a lot of people thought we traded back for Andrew McCutchen, even though he is injured at the moment, which was
Uh,
pretty. I knew that was an instant not true, but definitely when it's kind of weird that we traded him because the day before he hit 2 home runs off of the Reds in one game, and just for cash considerations and a player to be named, I
yeah.
mean, I don't know what this team's direction is. I mean, we're what 9.5 games behind now. I don't see much hope for this team. I definitely see us maybe coming in fourth place above the Reds, of
I
course.
think that top prospect would have been like that trade would have been just that would have been perfect.
Yeah, for Gavin Lux off of the Dodgers, prospects, #1 prospect for them. Uh, it definitely would have helped with the slump bats at the moment after the All-Star break, but we need a pitcher. I mean,
Yeah.
we cycle through so many pitchers in our games recently, and you could say kind of the same for the Mariners at the moment. For some reason, trading Hunter Strickland, um, that was their main closer and even opener for
Yeah.
some of his starts, but they traded him away, which kind of surprised me. But I definitely have to say at this deadline, a lot of wow factors happen. Definitely more than what I expected.
The Mets getting Stroman also was kind of a weird one to me. I didn't
Oh,
understand it, and
definitely.
I didn't
Uh,
really care. I was kind of like, yeah, that happened.
the plan for that was actually to screw the Yankees because the Yankees were chasing him,
The
and
Yankees botched free agency so hard. I mean,
they
they
did
botched the
botch
trade
it.
deadline so hard. Oh my gosh.
They didn't. Did they get anyone?
No, I
Wow.
from what I've seen, they didn't get anybody.
I
And
knew they
that
were.
right there, whew, how
So
can you
I
screw
knew they
that up?
were. I knew they were high on Stroman, and the
Yeah,
Mets kind of swept in and stole. They purposely stole him from the Yankees, so the Yankees, New York
I'm
rivals.
kind of I'm happy about that because, you know, of course I respect the Yankees legacy, but I don't like the Yankees being an Indians fan, and we always end up playing them in the first round, and I'm tired of seeing them. And that right there, I think could have put them over the edge right there. Getting Stroman, oh, that would have been big. And I'm
Okay.
tired of the Yankees.
Yeah, I think everyone could say that. But moving away from the trade deadlines as a big highlight, we're gonna shift to another big highlight that has a lot of people kind of pissed off at the moment with this list. The top 100 players from the NFL of last season. So I wanted to come down here and you and I make a list for what our 10 players think we should be there. First of all, do you agree with the top 10 list?
No, I do not. I was really upset, mainly only because our MVP last year did not make the top three. I I was baffled and I was upset. The whole top 10, it was weird to me. Antonio Brown was the number one rated receiver. I just I don't know. I felt like it could have been better.
I had a lot of disgruntles with the list as well. I mean, like I don't really pay. I can be honest with you. I don't really pay attention from 20 to 100.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, did you construct a top 10 list or?
Yeah, I made one.
So I made one as well. So if you want to start firing off, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
All right, start from your 10 and then go down to 1.
Okay. The real number 10 was Von Miller, but my number 10 was Julio Jones. I put him there because, I've got I got two receivers ahead of him actually. And Julio Jones, if it wasn't for his touchdown numbers, I think Julio Jones, I would have put him in my top 5, but the touchdown numbers just hurt. And in real life, he went to number 9, but I just had to drop him one spot. Just those touchdown numbers just hurt really bad. Um, Julio Jones, of course, is number 9 in real life, but my number 9 was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers made number 8. I didn't.
He didn't
I
make
didn't
my
really.
list.
Really, Aaron Rodgers?
6 and
I
10. He not a
I
top
was
10
thinking
player
about.
last year, in my opinion.
I was gonna drop him out of the top 10. Honestly, I was really thinking about it, but I know it would have pissed a lot of people off because everyone thinks Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback. No, he's not. But I had to drop him out of there, and I just dropped him a spot. But Aaron Rodgers, he put up good stats. I mean, the touchdown to interception ratio was unbelievable. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it's just the team around him. But he's definitely on the down. I think he's on the downfall of his career. Number 8 in real life, Aaron Rodgers, but I put Von Miller. Now I was thinking about putting Von Miller a couple spots ahead, but I looked at it and I said, he didn't have a lot of, not a lot of people buzzing about him last year, and I got used to that with Von Miller, but he. I felt like 8's just the perfect spot for him. I don't know. Maybe he can go higher, but I really don't see any of these players ahead of him that I put that he could pass. My number 7 in real life was Antonio Brown, and on my list is Antonio Brown. One more receiver ahead of him, obviously, because I think this guy's the best receiver in the NFL. But Antonio Brown, his stats were insane last year. I think the player, like I said, I think the players ahead of him were just a little bit better. Number 6, I had Todd Gurley. I was in real life. Number 6 was Tom Brady, but Todd Gurley made number 5 in real life. But I dropped him a spot because the people ahead of him are I just think did a lot more. Because I would have put Todd Gurley in the top 3 or top 5 if it wasn't for the playoffs. I think that's what killed him, and I was really considering dropping him to 7 or 8 or 9, but I think 6 is fine. Number 5, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the stats aren't always going to be pretty, of course, but I mean, right in the middle of the top 10. It's mainly just because he's a winner. There's no stopping. You don't stop him for his age. He's the most consistent. He's the best. He's the best quarterback out there. Well, he's still top 3, but I feel like Tom Brady's, just Super Bowl win. It was big. Number 4, Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack was on a rampage this year. After getting that contract, usually players drop off after the contracts, but he did amazing. And number 4 in real life was Patrick Mahomes, but I put Khalil Mack here. I dropped him a spot because the 3 ahead of him made a harder impact in the league this year. Because after a couple games of Khalil Mack being on the Bears, the whole team just came around and started doing good, and it kind of dropped off Khalil Mack's production. But of course, Khalil Mack still killed it this year. But he, compared to the other 3 were more talked about, and I feel like just had the better season. My number 3, a lot of controversy behind this one, but DeAndre Hopkins is my number 3. He's the best receiver in the NFL. There is no question in my mind about it. I honestly feel like he could almost break 2,000 yards receiving if he had a better quarterback. No knock to Deshaun Watson, because I like Deshaun Watson, but he is not the franchise quarterback for that team. It's not going to happen. And, it sucks, but DeAndre Hopkins, that dude made highlight after highlight with his one-handed catches, any of his catches. I mean, dude's just a beast. My number 2, now this one was a toss-up because I really wanted to put flip it around, but my number 2 was Aaron Donald.
Okay.
And his season was unbelievable. Now, he did make number one in real life, but it's voted on by mostly the players. And if you ask most of the players, they're gonna say Aaron Donald because that dude's just been wrecking havoc for the past couple years, and he's a monster. He really is. But this number one, you already know who it is. It's Patrick Mahomes. The dude, that his season, I mean, eclipsed 5,000 yards, over 50 touchdowns. Now, I know it's just for basically. I'm just gonna say it's basically his rookie year because he played one game his rookie year and he threw like 2 picks and it was awful. But dude, Patrick Mahomes is just a flat out beast. I mean, he comes in this year, does all that with the Kansas City team without Kareem Hunt. I mean, mainly no receivers. I mean, Tyreek Hill's good because of his speed mainly. But Tyreek Hill, he's not a top 10 in my opinion, not a top 10 receiver. He's just really fast, and I don't know. I just feel like Mahomes did so much with very little. Not very little, but like a lot less than what some of these other players have had, like Drew Brees. Like Drew Brees fell out of my top 10. But he had everybody. But Mahomes he did all of that and won MVP. And we're going off top 10 players of last year, not top 10 players in the league. It's off last year.
Yes.
So it's Mahomes. I had Mahomes.
Thank you for specifying that because a lot of people, I read all the Instagram comments, got confused. But
yeah, it's like I don't get it.
Now going into mine. Now, I went off how players performed last year. And mine might stir a lot of controversy. It might not. A lot of people might agree with me. So number 10, I agree with the real rankings. Von Miller at 10. Still a great player. Trust me. One of the most dominant linebackers / DNs in the league. Very under the radar player this year, though. Not many people, were looking at those Bronco games this year. So definitely still a top 10 player, maybe even higher next year if he can, finally Drew Lock can step in and save the Broncos, or maybe even Joe Flacco. Number 9, here's where the controversy starts. I have Julio Jones at number 9. Now, Julio Jones, great receiver. Trust me, he is not bad in any typical form at all. But the touchdowns really affect this year. Now, honestly, in my opinion, I can't decide between DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones for my favorite, who is the best. But this season, from last season's stats, Julio Jones was, here I'm going to spoil it, my 3rd receiver from the year. Number 8 from the year. I have another wide receiver here. I have Antonio Brown. Even with all the controversy and sitting out Week 17, Antonio Brown had an astonishing, I can't even pronounce it. That's how good of a year he had. I don't know about next year being on this list this high, considering the Raiders and stuff might not go well.
I hope it goes good because that team could be good.
Nate Peterman might be starting, but we're not going to talk about that at the moment. Going into number 7, I'm going to have Tom Brady here. Now, Tom Brady, still an excellent quarterback, but last season, better quarterbacks ahead of him. Last season, he was ranked number 1. This season, I have him as number 7. Going in as my top wide receiver of the year at number 6, I have DeAndre Hopkins. Now, this man every single year balls out like it's nothing. Insane one-hand catches. He had a 99% catch rate pretty much through the whole entire season. But Deshaun Watson, he finally has someone who can throw him the ball accurate, although I don't believe Deshaun Watson is the quarterback for the Texans. Great fit for DeAndre Hopkins. Now going into number 5, I have Khalil Mack right here. Now Khalil Mack, like you said, most people, they sign that big contract and decline. He did nothing but improve, starting at week 1, facing Aaron Rodgers, making him getting taken out of the game, strip fumbling him, and did he intercept him and take him to the house? Yes, I believe so. although they did lose that game, but we don't talk about that. But Khalil Mack still is a dominant player, and he definitely deserved that money. Now, going into the number 4 spot, this is going to stir some more controversy. I have Drew Brees at number 4.
Ooh.
Now, Drew Brees, definitely, I have him, again, I probably have him number 1 going into this season. But this year, there's just 3 more players who are better than him. And now, number 3, the most controversial, I can't even speak. This is how controversial it is. At number 3, I have Saquon Barkley.
Oh.
Now, dropping into the teens, Saquon Barkley, as a rookie, went out, dropped 2,000 scrimmage yards. You haven't seen that since CJ2K going out there, dropping over 2,000 yards. Not rushing, scrimmage yards from, Eli Manning's little dump passes. Now, I personally believe that Saquon is definitely the number 3 at this position. Everything backs it up. He was a definite top 5 player this year. Now, going into number 2, I did the same thing as you. I put Aaron Donald at number 2. Now, Aaron Donald with the Rams, 20 sacks as a defensive tackle. You do not see that. You don't.
While being double guarded.
While being double guarded as well. Now, again, Aaron Donald, he'll ball out. Does definitely deserve the contract. Now, number 1, Mr., catch up himself, Patrick Mahomes. Now, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Number 4 was a disgrace, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In his technical rookie season, 5,000 yards? Are you serious? You do not see that. Now, this is last year's. This is not this year's or ranking the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Now, so, of course, we do have our disagreements with this list. Maybe even with each other's, of course. But NFL, you need to not let your players pick these lists.
And honestly, if I'm really looking at it and really rethinking it, I really strongly consider putting Saquon Barkley up there too. I really wanted to, but I just didn't know how. Oh man, I agree with you on that. Saquon Barkley is top 3. That's easy, because that's what he did.
The players, I think it should be fan voted next year. Although fan voting might be biased at itself.
Yeah, because you'll get Nathan Peterman up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. You know what? Right now, I'm gonna start a hashtag. Hashtag Nathan Peterman for top 100 list next year. Right now. I want to see comments. I want to see comments of it. Just him ball out. But this sickens me with that.
Yeah,
but
it pisses me off.
Just to specify for the haters, because I know there's going to be haters, I threw 3 wide receivers on the list, and the top paid is not one of them. Michael Thomas, for anyone wondering, I did have him at 11. And
I had him at
Aaron Rodgers at 12. Now,
I just think Michael Thomas is overrated.
I think, is an elite player. He's on Julio, he's on DeAndre, he's on Antonio Brown's level. He's just not there yet. Give him a season or 2, he will be there. He is a star. I have watched him since Ohio State football, where he was a number 2 receiver and didn't get as much action.
Devin Smith was. And man.
Yeah, and who would have thought, he would have turned into this big star. But give it a year or 2. I would put a hot take. I would give it a year or 2. Michael Thomas will be, I would say, top 5 on this list.
Yeah, I agree. That dude the main thing I like about him is that he is tall, for one. He's big. He's just so physical. You don't really, there's a lot of, it's mainly small, fast receivers nowadays, but he is just so physical and just, does it all. I agree.
Now, I want to shift into my next point. A guy who was not on either of our list and is currently holding out, Mr. Ezekiel Elliott. What do you believe? Do you believe that Dak should take a pay cut? Should Zeke take a pay cut? because one of them is not going to get their big contracts, in my opinion.
Yeah. Honestly, I think what would be best if I was them is I think each of them should take a pay cut. I think they should go. What NFL players should do is quit. I mean, for one, quit complaining. You're gonna get your money. Be humbled, and just, I mean, win for your team. Care more for your team than the money, because you're gonna get the money. There's endorsements. You're still getting a big payday. I don't get it. I don't get why players do it. I don't get why they always complain. You don't always need $100 million. It's not the end of the world if you don't get $100 million. Like Zeke and Dak, they could take pay cuts, and they could, for God's sakes, they could make a run for the Super Bowl this year. That Cowboys team is really good, but these players keep getting more, and the teams just keep getting worse because they're going to have to get rid of these players because everyone's going to be wanting more money. Like, you got Kevin Byard that just got like he's now the highest paid receiver, and it's like
safety.
Or safety, yeah.
Yeah, safety.
But it's like, are you serious? There's other safeties out there, and I don't get it. And then these players that are still, not that great are going to be wanting even more money, and the lockout's coming. You already know it. It's just It's so much trouble and such a headache because that's all I hear about.
I don't believe we'll have a season that year.
Yeah, I could see it, and it's just all these players are holding out, and it's like, come on, care more for the team, because you get these contracts, and then further down the line your team starts to suck because these players you
can't pay
wanted
everyone.
all the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then and then that player complains because
when
the team
bad.
sucks and wants out. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's your fault. I love Odell Beckham Jr., but he did it. He did that.
Yeah.
A lot of players do it.
And to spawn from that, what the problem with these players holding out is like in this situation, you have Dak, who's definitely going to get paid $30 million a year. That's inevitable. That's inevitable at this point, which I think is ridiculous. He's gonna have to give up some of that money to Zeke if Zeke's gonna sign. They released Talon Hearns. That saved them a good $4 million in cap space.
Yeah, it wasn't much. It was
Amari Cooper's willing to work around a good contract.
Yeah.
But
which he should, because he's still not proven yet.
You're talking, $50 million in cap a year just for those two players, and I get it.
Exactly.
Dak's a very efficient quarterback. Zeke is a very good running back. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
In the game,
but Dak didn't even make the top 100 list.
Dak didn't. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Dak doesn't deserve the money, but he's gonna get the money whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And
he's good. He is good.
And I honestly believe that Zeke's gonna do a Le'Veon Bell this year.
Yeah. You see Melvin Gordon requested a trade
just
a little bit ago.
That's what I was just going to shift to, that Melvin Gordon has requested to be traded.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Of course he would. Melvin Gordon's a crybaby. That's all I know. That's all I'm gonna say. I didn't like him from the beginning. I thought he was overrated. He had that 500-yard rushing game in college, and then got stopped for 2 yards by Ohio State when he faced a real defense. And he's been a lot of people want to say he's a top-tier running back, but if you really think about it, he's either been hurt
he's a fantasy running back.
Yeah, and I just believe he's not worth the money, for one. Their backfield is loaded. Austin Eckler can start next year.
When he came in those couple of games when Melvin Gordon went down, he was dropping over 100 rushing yards a game.
Yeah. This
is not a big deal, honestly. Melvin Gordon is screwing himself.
Yeah, he is. And he's not a top 5 running back. He might not even be top 10. I don't know. I would have to put a list together for that. But the thing is that you can't cry when you're not the best at your position. If you're a Le'Veon Bell or Michael Thomas or Patrick Mahomes soon to be probably, then you have the right to complain. But until you're doing that and not getting hurt or rushing for under 100 yards a game, you have no reason to complain. You're on a team that could fight for a Super Bowl spot, and you're going to sit there and complain. And, do this year and then get your money. You're a running back. By the time you get paid, you're going to be almost out of your prime, and it's going to go downhill soon.
Oh, definitely. But breaking news coming in for baseball. It has officially been released. The Reds and Pirates suspensions. The Reds manager David Bell is getting suspended 6 games. Of course, he got ejected, then ran back out and tried to go after Clint Hurdle. Speaking of Clint Hurdle, he has now been suspended 2 games. Keanu Kella, who instigated the, I guess you could say, headshot pitch at Derek Dietrich, but he was suspended the most. He was suspended 10 games. Surprisingly, Amir Garrett, the guy who charged the dugout causing the brawl, only got suspended 8 games. Jose Osuna, who backed up Trevor Williams, who got hit by Amir Garrett, got suspended 5 games. Reds pitcher Jared Hughes, which I did not see Jared Hughes hit anyone on the video, got suspended 3 games. And Pirates pitcher Kyle Crick, who was the one who was yelling at Yasiel Puig, got suspended 3 games. And Yasiel Puig got suspended 3 games going to the Indians.
Ooh.
Chris Archer, the other person who got ejected, did not get suspended any games.
Really?
Because, if you watch the video, he got ran over. Oh my god. He did not enjoy that fight. Like, he always wants to fight people, but he did not enjoy that. Like, he got stampeded, like, people were stepping on him, then he finally got off, then Yasiel Puig threw him. It was something. It was, if you want to go watch John Boy Media's video on that, he'll give a full description, and it is hilarious. But that is the Reds and Pirates suspensions, and I want to wrap it up on this final topic. Now, I'm going to separate this part for time management, of course, but when we come back, we're going to do predictions for the AL and NL MVP. Okay, we are back, and just wanted to check some time management going into this, because this will be the longest part of the whole podcast. As in my personal opinion, I'm gonna give 3 possible candidates for the NL and the AL. I do want to save the Cy Young predictions for another video. But, so, let's just start it out for the National League. Who do you have how many prospects did you put down for your MLB? You don't tell me yet, but...
I put 2.
You put 2? Okay, I have 2 guaranteed and a third just to be there. Of course, everyone knows who the National League 2 players are. So why don't you introduce your first player to us? Who you have winning the MVP?
I didn't know really who to put here. I was really, throwing it back and forth.
Understandable.
Of who it could have been.
Understandable.
This player plays for the Dodgers.
Oh. Wow.
And yeah, Cody
Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger. Yeah, I was really skeptical on putting him here, because if the past couple, the past while, he's fallen back and I feel like he's sliding down in the race. But I mean, he's still having a good season. I just I don't know. You know, I made this a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, do I put him here or do I not? And I put a couple. Since I made two, I was like, yeah, I might as well. So yeah, I have him. I really have no explanation because I'm still skeptical on it.
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, well, I'm just gonna put out my answer now for the people who do not know the other candidates, who I have winning the most valuable player of the National League. I have outfielder from the Brewers, Christian Yelich.
That's exactly my second player.
Now, my reasoning for this is, Christian Yelich, outstanding hitting season from last. He won MVP last season. He's hitting a 3.33 average, 36 home runs, 81 ribbies on the year. Yeah, exactly. And it's just going up. And when I thought about this between Cody Bellinger, now Cody Bellinger's stats are 3.28 average, 34 home runs, and 80 ribbies. But when you look at this, look at the Brewers, look at the Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are stacked.
Yeah, exactly.
What we're looking for is the most valuable player for the team. Christian Yelich.
To their team, exactly.
If Christian Yelich was not there, the Brewers would not be above 500 at the moment. Cody Bellinger, the Dodgers would drop, but they would still be leading their division.
Exactly.
That's why I have Christian Yelich at the number one spot. Going in as my third option, this is a maybe. The chances are slim to none for this. Originally, before the All-Star break, I had Josh Bell here, but Josh Bell has been in a massive slump he was above 300 average. He's somehow still leading the league in RBIs. That's how dominant he was before the All-Star break. But now he's dropping under 1,000 OPS. But right now, I have the man who started and stole his All-Star spot, Freddie Freeman, first baseman from the Braves. Now,
really?
Again, this is a throw-up pick. He's not winning the MVP. He's going to be a third placeman. I just wanted to throw in a third place because, many people, they just see the two players. They don't see all these other players. Josh Bell, he was in that race for a while, but after, these past 2 weeks. No more. It's now Cody Bellinger ringing his bell, not Josh Bell. Now, going into the American League, everyone knows who's going to win this. This is not a surprise.
Yeah,
do you want to announce who's going to win?
The best player in baseball, Mike Trout, is going to win.
This was so there's no contender. There's no contender.
The only one you could consider, which
is DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, but it's not even close. I would say he's like 10 spots behind that. There's like nobody that can even contend.
Plus, again, look at the Angels, look at the Yankees.
Yep. It's not. I mean, if the Angels don't have Mike Trout.
I mean, I understand this year with DJ LeMahieu because injuries. I mean, Aaron Judge is back now.
Yeah.
But he struggled with injuries. Giancarlo Stanton, he's done. I mean.
Yeah.
But DJ LeMahieu, that's the only runner-up, but we all know Mike Trout's going to win it. For a third, I had Alex Bregman from the Astros, just for a third place spot. Carlos Santana. That third place can go up to anyone. I could definitely say.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Or Matt Chapman. I was thinking maybe him, but
Matt Chapman, yeah. But actually, we kind of went through that pretty quick. So, you ready to do some Cy Young predictions?
1 second, let me get to this.
I can start if you want me to, because
Yeah, go ahead.
everyone knows the National League Cy Young winner. This is too easy. Mr. Hyun-Jin Ryu from the Dodgers. This is easily outstanding season. You do not see a starting pitcher who throws 6-7 innings a game throw a 1.66 ERA with 117 strikeouts and only 16 walks. That you do not. I mean, you see relievers like Mariano Rivera throw those numbers, but you do not
Yeah.
see a pitcher who goes out every 5 days and throws 7 innings do this. Now, it was originally a 1.2, but he gave up 8 runs in one game, I think against the Rockies or Yankees. But he has dropped it back down to a 1.66. That is still a milestone away from my second place, even though the second place is absurd, but Hyun-Jin Ryu will absolutely take first place no matter what. Now, coming into second place, the only person I could say compete with him, even though I know he's not going to win just because of his strikeouts, is Max Scherzer. Now, Max Scherzer on the year has posted 189 strikeouts, only one behind the Mr. Legendary, who I will talk about in the American League. But 189 Ks, that is outstanding for a 2.41 ERA. Now, he is on a 10-day IL at the moment, but once he comes back, he'll be blazing, guns out, ready to throw you a strikeout.
I was looking at the odds yesterday, and Max is actually predicted to win it.
Really?
Yeah, he's a minus 200 bet to win it.
Wow. That is. Ooh. I like Hyun-Jin Ryu.
The next closest. Yeah, he's plus 160. That's how far off he is from Max.
Wow.
And then Luis Castillo.
I have him as my third.
He's plus 1,000.
But. Yeah, I have, those are my three. So I have Hyun-Jin Ryu winning, even though it's saying Max Scherzer has a better chance of winning right now. I
don't know how.
I disagree on that, although I do believe Max Scherzer is a dominant player. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's just this year he has definitely struggled with some injuries, the hit to the eye off a bunt. 10-day IL now. I think it was for his shoulder. I'm not sure on that. I did not fact check that before this video, but definitely a race there. Luis Costello also, he is also a strikeout king with 151 strikeouts this year, but a walking problem definitely with 59, my bad, players walked this year. But that's definitely a close race, I can definitely say. But now going to the American League, for my opinion, I originally had Mike Minor here, because Mike Minor came out in his 31-year-old season and impressed everyone before the All-Star break. But here we are now, after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
He went from a 2.72 ERA to a 3.21 in 2 appearances since the All-Star break. Major drop-off from what he was doing before. So, at my number 1 winner, the guy who strikes out more players than Max Scherzer, the GOAT himself, Justin Verlander. In his age 36 season, he just gets better with age and getting traded to the Astros, who somehow magically revived careers, posting 196 strikeouts with a 2.73 ERA with 31 batters walked, and basically throwing a shutout against the Indians the other night. Even though it looked like he had some stickum on his ball that I sent you the post of. But Justin Verlander, every single season, seems to stay consistent every year. Even as he's getting older, as an age 36 player, you do not see these numbers. I mean, except for the GOAT, Bartolo Colon, of course. But now...
So, let me say this. Let me get this straight. Justin Verlander. And Garrett Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And now Zach Greinke.
Yeah.
And when Greinke was in the NL, he was top 5 in my book for a projection to win it. Now he's over in the AL. So Verlander is my number one. Cole is my second. And Lance Lynn was my third. But I think if Greinke performs, he could go into that top three. They could have the top three pitch. Oh, my gosh.
My number two is Charlie Morton, actually, from the Rays.
Really,
In his 35-year-old season, absolutely going off for the Rays. A 2.78 ERA, 165 Ks, only 43 batters walked. That's a little high, but with my final list, I have Justin Verlander winning, Charlie Morton coming at second, and Mike Minor kind of shuffling in and out of my third place, going into definitely waiting for his next appearance as a going out there with the Rangers, definitely turning their season around. But now it's time for your NL predictions, because you gave your AL.
I really, really want to agree with you on this. But after looking over the past couple of days at Max Scherzer, I might have to put him there. Just because he went undefeated in June. And that really was a big surprise to me. I mean, he led the NL in wins, complete games, shutouts, innings, strikeouts, and batters faced in 2018. And I believe he got better. And I believe I don't know, I don't want to put him at first, but at the same time I do. So I'm going to have to put him first. Luis Castillo is my second. And your first is my third.
Wow.
And yeah, I know. It was, after listening to that, I'm probably gonna have to agree with you on that. But it was just, I don't know. I think the NL is a lot harder to pick than the AL.
Oh, definitely. I think that's the same with the MVP.
Yeah, easily. Like, you got Justin Verlander, and then you got Mike Trout for MVP. I mean, it's not even a question. And then the NL is just who's it going to go to?
Basically, you have all this low ERA for Ryu, but he could screw up, give another 8-run game, and his ERA is at a 2+ now.
Yeah,
and that could happen at any moment. So that's why it's close.
Surprise me.
Huh?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. It can happen at any moment. But going into this, we were just talking about it with Greinke going to the Astros. According to at-bat sources, it is now a plus 275 as co-favorite World Series champs, the Astros and the Dodgers. Which that's not a surprise at all.
No, not at all. And I'm not upset about it, but watching the game last night, watching the Indians beat up on the Astros, it was satisfying. But that Astros team it's really good, and it's scary because I don't want to meet them in the playoffs, at any point, and it's going to be Astros and Dodgers again, and it could be like that for the next couple years until.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with seeing another Dodgers-Astro World Series, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see that, actually.
I picked the Astros to win, though, if that happens again.
I picked the Astros to win again.
I think the Dodgers I think they're going to collapse, choke. That's basically how I see it going. I mean, I just don't think, they're built to go to the championship, but they're not built to win a championship.
It'll be very interesting to see if a Dodgers pitcher wins the Cy Young and an Astros pitcher wins the Cy Young the same year.
It would be a really, really intense matchup then. I think that would sweeten it, which I could see happening because, of course we don't know if it's rigged or not, but I mean, they get that to happen, the hype would be real.
Oh yeah,
Like, woo.
but
And I'm
you got anything else to say?
um
I'm waiting for a
nope.
Go
That's
Browns
it.
chant from you.
You gotta wait a couple days. You gotta wait a couple weeks. Redskins and Browns preseason game.
Oh, you definitely know. We'll be covering that.
Oh, oh yeah, definitely. Haskins, get to see
But
Haskins play.
yes, I have Nate Peterman going. Not Nate Peterman. Oh my, Daniel Jones going 0 for 7 with the interception. But
Oh man, what a beast.
from there, I want to end this podcast. We definitely want to get back into this as
Yep.
we've been insisting this for a long time. Just motivation, life, things happening, trying to enjoy summer, just gets in the way. But
Yeah.
I'm fully committed. Isaiah's fully committed. We're ready to move on for LLC. We're ready. Hopefully, everyone sticks around, supports us a little more, try and makes our dreams come true. Just something
Yep.
we always want to do. But we just want to thank all of you for coming in. Hopefully, watching the whole entire video. If you'd like, leave a comment down below. Argue with us a little bit. We love to see
Yeah.
that always. But trying to get some people on here, hopefully, have a debate maybe.
Yeah.
But I hope everyone has a nice day. From Isaiah and I, we'll say goodbye to you.